everyone, it's Darby with rejoiceandcreate.com, and I have another project for you today. And you might recognize it. It's not a new idea, but it's one of those little baskets that you can create from a flat piece of paper. And I used the layering hearts, and the ones I have are the Sweet and Sassy set from Stampin' Up. But if you have a set of layering heart dies, certainly find the ones that fit, and you can do that as well. It fits 3 of the Linder balls in there. It is 3 inches wide by 2 inches tall by 1.5 inches deep, so you can fit a lot of things into it. And I decorated this one kind of in a more rustic look for the guys in your life, but this time I think I'll make one a little bit of shabby chic for the ladies in the life. So what you'll need for the basket is a piece of cardstock or designer series paper that is 5 inches by 6 inches. And I'm going to use the powder pink for my shabby chic version. You will also need some hearts, and I have 2 very close sized layering hearts in the back, and I have 2 of the smaller layering hearts in the front, and you can use whatever hearts you have. The ones I used were the traditional heart from the Sweet and Sassy by Stampin' Up, and I used the biggest one and the second biggest one for my backdrop. And for this one I'm going to cut the biggest one in powder pink and the second biggest one in a pattern paper, which is a Whole Lotta Lovely, which has a pattern to match my shabby chicness. You'll need something for the banner, and on this one I used Very Vanilla, and I stamped Sure Do Love You from the Sure Do Love You stamp set, but you can use whatever sentiment and banner you want. You don't have to have a banner punch. You can use just a straight piece of paper, stamp whatever sentiment you want, and flag the ends. That would look equally beautiful. For this one I'm going to use a piece of Whisper White. The 2 hearts in front were not the smallest, so it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th and the 6th from the largest for my 2 in my front. For these 2 hearts, powder pink for the larger one, and I used some of the other designer series paper from the Whole Lot of Lovely collection that kind of matched. So let's clear off the desk and we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm going for a shabby chic look this time, and I'm going to do some tone-on-tone stamping. So I want to use this nice flourish from the Timeless Textures with powder pink. So let me go ahead and just do some random stamping. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is put the short side up. So I went the 5-inch side up, and on both sides you want to score it at 1 3/4 inch. So let's see, 1 3/4 on this side. And let's turn that around, and 1 3/4 on this side. So with the long side up, we're going to score it at 3/4 inch. So I'll go ahead and start at 3/4 inch on this side, and then flip that side around, and we're going to score it at 1.5 inches and at 2 1/4. And we're going to do that on the other end as well. I just find it, we could go all the way across, but I think it's easier for me just to move this one over here and do 3/4 inch. And flip that one around now and do 1.5 inches. And 2 1/4 inch. Okay, so what we have is on both sides, we have a 3/4 inch, 1.5 inches, and a 2 1/4 inch coming in from the sides. And on both of our, with the 5-inch side up, we have 1 3/4 inch in on both sides. Alright, so go ahead and fold and burnish your score lines. Alright, so we have like 3 sections over here and 3 sections over here. For each of these, we're going to cut up the score line to that horizontal. So let me get my big scissors out and just go ahead and cut up and cut up. And once we finish this side, we'll do the exact same thing to the other side. Okay, so how we put this together is we'll go ahead and flip that over, and all these will fold up and come into that little basket. As I said, it's not a new design. It's been out there for a while. You'll see several variations of it, and this just happens to be my variation. But how I get it to glue together properly is I'll go ahead and flip up one of the sides, and I'll just put a whole bunch of glue on the ends of the corresponding cuts on this side. All right. Then I take the closest one and I will angle that up until that corner, that top corner, meets up with the top line of my middle piece. Okay, so let me set that up straight so you can get an idea. But see how that corner is right up on that top line? That's where we want it to be. And then go ahead and move up this other one till that outside corner is also on. Don't worry about getting glue on it. We're going to need it everywhere anyway. All right, so we've got our first two pieces up. So go back to your original side and we'll do the second one. So still that top outside corner, you want it to go up to where the line is. Now it's going to move over a little bit because this paper is this cut was farther out, but you want to go ahead and angle it so that that corner is even with the top line of the centerpiece, the top of the centerpiece. All right, and with this one as well. Now if you use designer series paper, it won't quite be so thick. I just wanted to have a little bit of a shabby design on this one. All right, and again with the last one, move it up until you get that top corner on the line up with the top of that middle piece. Now this one might angle down a little bit. That's okay. If you want to, you can go ahead and just move it so it is would be parallel, and then just go ahead and match that other one up with it. Okay, you're going to be covering up all of this, so don't worry about that. All right, go ahead and hold that a minute until it dries, and then we'll move to the other side. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and decorate our little holder. Let me bring this one in so you can see kind of how I did this. I went and put the larger heart on the inside, and then the next smaller heart of designer series paper I glued to the inside and matched it up so that there was a even border. But actually, before I do that, because I do want to make it a little bit of shabby chicness, I'm going to use some of the crumb cake ink. And I'm going to sponge it around the corners and around the edges. Okay, so now we have a little shabbiness on there. I'm going to do the same thing with my hearts, and I'll put the back hearts on first. So let me go ahead and do a little bit of the sponging with the crumb cake. I'm going to do this on both sides because the back of the heart will show. And if that bothers you, when you cut off the die cuts, it kind of presses that up. I don't know if you can see it because one side is nice and rounded on the top, and then the other side gets pressed down, so it kind of gives you a little bit of a lip. If that bothers you, when you're doing that, just go ahead and run your bone folder along the side or your fingernail. But that will kind of flatten out that lip a little bit and make it look not as obvious. All right, let me finish doing this. Okay, I'll leave that there for a minute because I'll need it again. And let me go ahead and glue these on the back. So what I did is I glued this one on the back, and then I glued this one to the front inside, and that kind of covered up all that assembly of the box. So and again, don't worry if you have glue sticking up over it. We're going to cover it with the other heart in just a minute. All right, hold that down till it sticks well. And then we'll glue this one in there too. And just match it up so it gets lined up. Because it's sandwiching a bit of the layers of the cardstock, go ahead and hold that down for a minute until you know that's adhered. Okay, I love that shabby chic look. Alright, to save some time, I went ahead and cut out the smaller ones as well that will go on the front, and I also stamped the Sure Do Love You from the Sure Do Love You stamp set. I used the framelit for the banner from the Lots to Love box framelits from Stampin' Up! There, but it certainly can be cut out by hand, or if you don't have a banner shape, just cut out a straight thing and flag it on both ends and it'll look equally pretty. And again, because I'm going for shabby today, we're gonna give it a nice edging with some crumb cake. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that on there, and I used some dimensionals that I had left to pop it up. Alright, I just put that right across the heart to a way it was pleasing to me. Alright, so there we have it so far. Alright, now let's just work on the front. For the front, because I'm going for the shabby chic look, I'm going to use a little bit of the delicate white doilies, but I wanted to make it look old and rustic. So let me go just take the whole thing, and I'm doing some crumb cake on it. And let me get a little powder pink as well and put a little bit of pink on there, so it'll match. Okay, so I have a rustic looking doily. Use part of it in front, and I'll just go ahead and fold it over a bit, but I will trim that edge a little because I don't want it folding down. So what I'm going to do is just cut in a little on each of these sides so it doesn't pull down when I fold it over. And let me use some glue. And line that up on the front. Just line that up how it's pleasing to you. Sponge around the edge of this one. I'm also going to use one of my grungy Timeless Textures as well to put on there. So I'm just going to use this, and I want it really light, so I'm going to stamp it off once and then just put that on there. Alright, let me just go ahead and get one more heart sponged. Alright, now I have an XOXO from the Bloomin' Love, but you don't have to stamp this on there, or you could write it by hand, or you could use one of the lettering dies to go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle of my little heart. Alright, and now I'm just going to go ahead and put my hearts on. Let me glue this one first, and the other one I'm going to put up with a little bit of dimension. And because I think it would look nice, I'm trying to see if any of the, that's a little bit too gray, and that was the Sahara Sand ribbon. Actually, this burlap might look very nice on the shabby chic as well. Let me just take one more. I've got some Tip Top Taupe. Yeah, that looks a little gray too. I still have some leftover trims I'm working on, but I think that the burlap would look the best on that one as well. Let me go ahead and glue it on there. And hold that down for a minute. Then I'll glue my little heart right on top of it. Alright, because I have so much texture going on, I'm going to hold that for a minute. Alright, so those are my two little sweet Valentine treat baskets. And I really love the way the shabby chic one turned out. Let's go ahead and fill that one up. I'm going to go ahead, I've got some of the strawberries and cream Linder balls to go in this one. So let me put those down in there. And then I'll put a little bit of the shred that I got at the Dollar Tree and put one more on top. So I hope you enjoyed the project today and give it a try. It's a very sweet way to show someone you care about them for Valentine's Day. And I can see it on the dinner table for your family or a coworker's desk or anyone you want to give it to. And not just for Valentine's Day. You can change the occasions if you change the paper you use and the embellishments. It can work for a lot of different holidays and events. So if you need more information, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And if you liked the video, I would appreciate a thumbs up and for you to subscribe. I'm getting close to 500 subscribers, and I'm very thankful and humbled that you're all coming along for the ride with me, because it's much more fun to rejoice and create together. So if you have any comments or questions or encouragement, I would love for you to post it below. And until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!